In a shocking and tragic incident that unfolded on November 13, 2022, 4 University of Idaho students lost their lives. But now, justice is taking a step forward as the man accused of this heinous crime moves closer to standing trial. In an indictment filed on Tuesday in the 2nd District Court, the Latah County Grand Jury has charged the suspect, identified as Kohberger, with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. The indictment, which is not a pronouncement of guilt but rather a statement of charges, signifies a significant development in the case. With this indictment, the need for a preliminary hearing, originally scheduled for late June, has been eliminated. The case now moves closer to trial, bringing the victims' families one step closer to finding closure. Kohberger is expected to answer the charges at his arraignment in Latah County District Court on Monday, May 22nd at 9 a.m. PDT, 10 a.m. MDT. The presiding judge, John Judge, will oversee the proceedings. The arrest of Kohberger took place on December 30th, 2022, at his family's home in Pennsylvania. Following his arrest, he was escorted by Pennsylvania State Police officers on a cross-country flight to Idaho, where the legal proceedings commenced in Latah County Magistrate Court. To shed light on the charges against Kohberger, a redacted version of the indictment was made public. It details the counts brought against him and alleges that he unlawfully entered the house on King Road in Moscow with the intent to commit the felony crime of murder. It's important to note that the indictment does not mention guilt, but rather outlines the allegations against Kohberger. He still maintains the right to a trial by jury, where the evidence will be presented and examined. However, the challenges faced in this case extend beyond the courtroom. Due to concerns about potential harassment, the names of the witnesses examined by the grand jury remain sealed. Prosecutors argued that releasing their identities could further exacerbate the situation and undermine the integrity of the case. Understanding the legal process, the cancellation of the preliminary hearing offers insight into the role of a grand jury. In Idaho, felony cases require the prosecution to demonstrate sufficient evidence to proceed to trial. This can be done through either a preliminary hearing or grand jury proceedings. A grand jury consists of citizens who are brought together to hear evidence and determine if charges should be brought against a person. Their proceedings are private and confidential, with prosecutors presenting information to the grand jury. Defendants are not present during these proceedings, and there's no opportunity for cross-examination on their behalf. Once the grand jury decides that criminal proceedings should be initiated, as they have in Kohberger's case, an indictment is returned. Based on the indictment, the defendant is summoned to appear in district court for an arraignment. During the arraignment, scheduled for Monday, May 22nd, the charges will be read, and Kohberger will have the opportunity to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. The judge will also enter a plea of not guilty if Kohberger chooses to remain silent. This crucial step will set the tone for the upcoming trial or potential sentencing phase. In this case, first-degree murder carries a possible death sentence, and if prosecutors intend to seek the death penalty, they must file a written notice within 60 days after the plea is entered. If Kohberger is found guilty and the death penalty is recommended by the jury, the judge may impose such a sentence. As the arraignment date approaches, the victims' families, the community, and all those affected by this tragedy hope for a fair and just trial that will provide answers and closure. The legal process will move forward, striving to deliver justice for the lives lost on that fateful day. Thank you for joining us in this update on the case. Stay tuned as we continue to follow this story, bringing you the latest developments and insights.